on, Jackie.
Come on, I haven't let things
Anyway, continue.
Claire had magnets.
Yeah.
Megan swears they got nowhere near her camera. But her camera now has this spot. And it won't work. And then,
I never cease to be amazed that anyone would ask me after spending 4 years at Mariner High School to come, and especially the wrestlers, to come to their get-togethers, but I tell you, I really, really appreciate it.
We love you.
Well, and that just shows how nice of people you are, that you still love me. But anyway, I yelled out here, I'm sorry I did that too, Sharon, but Brian Elliott wrestled 1 year for Mariner High School. His family moved, but he stayed a good friend to me and to my family, and he's presently the wrestling coach at Everett High School. So we have a real special guy here playing tunes for us. You know, I was just talking to Jill here, and I was saying, well, this is what I kind of like to say if I am asked to say a few words. I was a child of the 50s, okay? I came up in the 50s, and you hear people talk all the time about, geez, the 50s were so great. They were, you know, everything was so wonderful in the 50s, everything. They really were great if you're white, male,
Yes.
looked good,
Yes.
had money, had a nice car.
Yes.
So that was kind of my impression of school.
That's all behind.
I got into that Buckle School District, and it was like I went through a time warp, because the kids in Buckle School District treated people like people. You know, and I'll remember that more than anything else. I'm sure all of us can think of isolated incidents where we didn't do our best. I can think of things, you know, as a young teacher and getting started and everything. I saw things in absolutes that perhaps, you know, with a little bit of maturity I don't see anymore. Sometimes I shake my head at the fact that I probably roasted somebody, you know, who probably at the time needed the roasting, and interestingly enough, years later thanked me for the roasting. But I would still have to say that if I had it all to do over again, I probably wouldn't have done it with quite that much enthusiasm.
We needed it.
Well, yeah, and so did I. So did I. You know, I needed to learn too. And if we ever lose sight of the fact we all are still in a learning process, we're in trouble. But anyway, it was my pleasure to be a teacher at Mariner High School. It was my pleasure to know you. And kicking and screaming, I got on Facebook. My daughter-in-law and my granddaughter talked me into getting on it. To tell you the truth, I thought I was a little sissy. To start off with. It's been one of the neatest things that I've done, because I've been able to have a little part of so many people's lives, and admittedly, to feel the pride I feel when I see what kind of people you become and what kind of values you have and what kind of a family situation you have. Like I say, my wife Barbara, who has stood beside me and put up with me all these years, and I always enjoy coming and seeing you the guys, and I always call you kids. I realize when you're pushing 50, kids may be a breeze, but you're kids to me, which gives you a pretty good idea where I'm coming from. But anyway, thank you so very much for inviting us, and thank you so very much for being you and the type of people that you were and allowed me to experience as a teacher. I think it made me a better teacher on down the line. And I can say the last day I taught after 35 years, I loved the kids and thought the kids were just as good of people as kids had always been. Now, I don't want to get too serious here, but I felt like because of all the love that's gone on between us, that I'd leave you with the three saddest words that I can think of. No host bar.